Okay, we are in Burkina Faso, fellas. The president's name is Ibrahim Traore. Okay, young man, 36 years old. He comes up in the heat, very firing, a lot of fire, and he's not liked by a lot of people. Why? Because Ibrahim Traore's got a policy that's completely different. He doesn't support looting, corruption, stealing from government. Well, that's modus operandi in Africa. Most African presidents are thieves. Yes, because they take money from the government. They live like kings. There's nobody to control the president, especially not financially, because he's got under him the army and justice. So there is nobody who can really talk to him like that in most African countries. Now, Ibrahim Traore has come into power, and he says in his government, they have found people that are corrupt. These are the people that they gave money to do good things for the people, build hospitals and schools and many other things, but they have not done so. They've used the money for their own purposes. Let's listen to this man.
Il y a aussi au cours donc de ces semaines assez d'événements ici à la présidence, notamment un certain nombre de responsables des différents départements ministériels que j'ai tenu à recevoir personnellement pour essayer de rediriger l'action gouvernementale en cherchant à rationner les dépenses de fonctionnement. Parce que nous nous sommes rendus compte que le fonctionnement prend tellement de place dans notre budget que nous étions obligés de lire donc ces milliers de pages. Ce n'est pas pour le plaisir des yeux, mais nous étions obligés de le lire, de faire venir chaque responsable et d'essayer de rationner pour que le budget serve à faire des investissements socio-économiques structurants de base.
Okay, so what he's saying right there is what? They have realized that the functioning of ministries alone is eating the great majority of the money allocated to these companies. So every department in government is using way too much money before they even do the job they're supposed to be doing. So how do you explain that? We've allocated money to you before you even done what you're supposed to do, whether it's building schools, building hospitals, building infrastructure, road and stuff. You haven't even done that, but you've already spent the money just by functioning. Oh, I traveled to the next city, we spent 2 million. Oh, I brought people or contractors, we spent 2 million. We don't understand that. Please, you need to come, we need to sit down and look through this so we can understand where are you spending the money and what for. That's the question.
C'est de nos masses populaires. Tous ceux qui sont passés ici, qui ont participé à l'exercice, ont reconnu que nous avons assez de dépenses dans le fonctionnement. Et nous allons continuer dans ce sens à minimiser les dépenses de fonctionnement de l'administration pour pouvoir investir mieux au profit de...
We need to reduce spending of the government. You know, in Africa, a lot of people love being in a government, love being politicians, not because they love the country. You know, usually you think politicians are people that love the country. They want it to move forward. I don't know if you've seen many politicians that are poor. Not in Africa. The majority of them live lavishly. Why? Because it's nice to be a politician and earning money from the people. And it's even nicer for those who are corrupt, using the same money for their benefit, their own purposes, instead of building hospitals and schools and stuff. So he said we need to reduce spending. Our personal spending needs to be reduced so we can deliver to the people. That is why we're here.
Population. Ceux qui ont compris le message, je pense que c'est le cas pour la plupart. Je les invite donc à redoubler d'efforts, à faire en sorte que nous puissions minimiser les dépenses de fonctionnement. Tout ce qui peut être économisé doit être économisé et investi au profit donc de nos populations. L'eau potable n'est pas une garantie pour tout le monde ici au Burkina Faso.
Water shouldn't be a luxury in Burkina Faso. While you guys are rolling into big cars and driving and... No, we should be focusing on feeding these people and getting them clean water.
Aujourd'hui en train de lutter aussi pour la souveraineté alimentaire. Il y a tellement de défis qu'il faille économiser au maximum pour pouvoir relever ces défis-là. Malheureusement, dans ce contexte, nous nous rendons compte qu'il y a encore des brebis galeuses qui essaient de jouer avec le temps peut-être, mais nous avons passé 2 années à sensibiliser. Je pense qu'à un moment donné, le peuple même trouvait que nous sensibilisons trop, il fallait passer à l'action.
Yeah, unfortunately, there has been some people within the government to whom we've spoken numerous times, trying to show the direction we're trying to head toward. We're trying to show everybody we want a better country. We're trying to show everybody that we want to be independent from Europeans. We're trying to show everybody that we're trying to be a country and a government that can take care of the people. But these people seem not to understand, he's saying. 2 years later, the population may be tired of just watching. We cannot continue just watching these people. So it's time for punishment. You can't speak to people forever. Either they understand or they don't. You can't preach somebody to be decent forever. Either they are decent or they're not. You need to find a solution to them. Let's go.
Et à partir d'un moment donné, nous avons décidé de passer à l'acte. Je tiens à vous informer ici que malheureusement, au cours de ces derniers temps, suite donc à une dénonciation sur plainte, nous avons découvert un réseau de malfrats, malheureusement au sein du ministère même de l'action humanitaire. Ce ministère qui était censé donc agir au profit donc des plus démunis, c'est dans ce ministère que des gens se sont permis de détourner de l'argent.
We found a network of negative people within the humanitarian ministry, and this is a ministry that is supposed to help helpless people, homeless people, destitute people, widows, orphans. Within that same ministry supposed to help these people, we found a network of people whose job is to steal, loot, and spend for their personal purposes, their wives, their families, the money that was supposed to be allocated to the people that are in need in our country. You see Africa for you. This is Africa. I'm sorry, but the reason why Africa is not moving forward is because the majority of Africans are crooks. And I know, if I were of a different race, you'd probably say I'm racist. No doubt about that. But am I lying? Am I lying? How many African governments can run itself without anybody having to come and without any laws that is very harsh, saying if you steal, you're going to be thrown in jail or shot? How many African countries can actually do things properly without stealing and just earning their salaries, no doing any funny businesses? Tell me, give me the names. Give me the names. Well, the countries in Africa where things can be run appropriately with only black people, okay? Do things appropriately without stealing and looting. And I'm speaking, and I'm an African person. I have the right to do so. People that destroy Africa are not necessarily people from the West. I know it's very easy to say, to blame somebody else. It's because of the West that Africa is poor. It's because of Europeans that Africa is being looted. It's because of Americans that Africa has no peace, no roads. No, it's not. Zimbabwe was sanctioned because they expelled Europeans by taking their lands back. The truth is, a true Zimbabwean will tell you one of the reasons why Zimbabwe suffered is because the people who were farming were also not educated enough. Some of them were corrupt, not trained enough. Even though they took their land back from the oppressors, they didn't know what to do with the land. So they were not prepared for the things they were looking for. Some people will tell you the reason why it didn't work out is because of corruption within government. The people are corrupt. Nothing goes straight. Everything is corruption. There's nothing you can get properly. There are some countries in Africa here. In order for you to get a visa, let me give you a simple example. There are some countries in Africa. Let's say you're looking for a visa to South Africa and you go to the embassy in that country looking for a visa. If you go to the normal way, you're not going to get the visa. In order for you to get the visa, you need to give, let's say visa fee is $100. You have to give $500. So the $400, it's for the people who have corrupted the system in order for them to move your files. And the $100 is actually the money you're paying into the South African embassy. Now, how do you grow? How do you develop a country like that? Well, the mentality of people, we need to steal. Whenever I'm being put in a position of power, I need to fund this. I need to create a malicious system to steal from the system. Unbelievable. Now, I think now you understand briefly why many African leaders don't like Ibrahim Traore. Because he's there for the people. Let's go.
Et des milliards en 2024. Ils ont détourné plusieurs milliards. La police a fait un excellent travail d'enquête qui nous a permis de découvrir beaucoup de biens, des véhicules de luxe, un bon nombre de choses en tout cas qui ont été saisies. Et l'affaire a été transférée donc à un tribunal. C'est pour dire que si nous ne mettons pas du sérieux dans le contrôle, il y aura toujours ce genre de personnes qui croient que tout est permis. Détourner des milliards, surtout au ministère de l'Action humanitaire dans ce contexte. Il y a des agents de Bonasure qui ont été pris dans ça, qui sont en prison actuellement. Des centaines de millions détournés. Des vivres qui devaient aller au profit donc des plus démunis, au profit de ces personnes déplacées internes. Et c'est dans ce ministère que des gens ont essayé de détourner cet argent. Et je suis persuadé que ça existe un peu partout parce que nous poursuivons l'enquête. Souvent, il y a ces arrestations que vous puissiez ne pas comprendre, mais nous savons pourquoi nous le faisons.
That's what it is, fellas. I need you to tell me, I need you to think with me. Don't you think it's about time? If somebody steals from the government in millions, they should be put in a stadium in front of people and get unalived. It works. China did it. Yeah, in China, you steal, you get unalived. Look at how China is. Look how far China is compared to Africa. China was a poor country after World War II. They were just like Africans, you know. if not worse. Yes, China was just like Africa. But look at them today. You cannot compare. Africans are begging to China to get money because they learned the power, the negative power of corruption, and they learned how to deal with it decisively. And the only thing African people are scared of is being unalive. I'm telling you, if you unalive people in Africa for doing negative things, stealing from the government, I'm telling you, Africa will be heaven. And Africans will then produce and live within the goods that the Most High gave them. The gold, the uranium, the cobalt will then produce fruit. If the African money, African wealth were used for the right purposes, no African will be trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea to go to Europe. God bless.